Well, hello and welcome to today's video. I'm going to talk about getting your real estate license and becoming a real estate agent as an income production opportunity, as a way to make money. And I tell you, becoming a real estate agent is one of the better ways of making money if you're a good fit for that. Like a lot of things we talk about, there's no one size fits all in terms of business, in terms of jobs, in terms of any other kind of income production opportunity. It's a matter of everybody finding what works for them at a particular point in time. But if you like what being a real estate agent is all about, if you're willing to do the work, learn the things that you need to do, and pursue it on a professional level, and if you're any good at it, you can make a six-figure income within your first year. You can even make multiple six figures per year if you're truly good at what you're doing. Now, I'll tell you this, the vast majority of people who get a real estate license are not very good at what they do. Many of them will never sell a single house the entire time that they're licensed. Others will eventually sell 2 or 3 houses a year, maybe 4 or 5 houses a year. Top producing agents will sell 3 or 4 or 5 houses a month or more. And that's something you need to understand right out of the box. The vast majority of people involved in real estate are not top producing agents. And that's fine. It's okay as long as you understand that getting into it. But when you start looking at comparing your potential income to what other people are doing, and you certainly need to do that to evaluate any income production opportunity, to determine whether it's a good deal or not, you need to know the realities of what you're getting into. I got my real estate license initially when I was in my very early 20s. And I was still on active duty in the military, still on active duty in the Navy. And I sold real estate part-time, as well as invested in real estate evenings, weekends, holidays, whenever I could find time to do it. And it was great for me. It was all the money I made was what I considered at the time to be extra money. And it was a wonderful thing. But I didn't have to count on that as my full-time source of income. So that's something else for you to keep in mind. And you can still do that today. There are people that tell you can't pursue real estate part-time. It's bullshit, like a lot of other things people tell you. You absolutely can. And in fact, I suggest that when you're first starting out, go to school at night or weekends, or better yet, do it online. You have to go through a mandatory principles real estate course to get your license. And now let me back up and say this too. License requirements vary by state. They're administered at the state level. So you need to check your state, where you're at, and see what licensing requirements are. What, if any, mandatory education you have to have, what are the testing requirements, all that kind of stuff. I'm in Virginia. Current requirements to get a salesperson's license in Virginia is 50 hours of classroom time. You got to pass Principles Real Estate course, and then you have to schedule and take and pass your actual licensure exams, which is the federal part and the state part. And that's done at a testing facility here in Virginia. The course testing itself can be done at your home or your office. It's proctored. Somebody has to monitor it. You got to pay for that. They'll have you pick your camera up, pan around the room, show them that there's nobody else in there, and they're monitoring what you're doing while you're taking your test. That's just for the course part of it. The actual licensure exam, you're probably going to want to need to go to a testing center for that. And again, that varies. There are different options depending on the state you're in, depending on particular requirements. So be sure to check your current requirements for wherever it is that you're looking at getting licensed at. Also, keep in mind, even within a particular state, things change from time to time. So what's true today might not be true next week, next month, next year. So don't rely on things that you're looking at a YouTube video that was filmed some time ago. Again, always go to the actual regulating authority for your area and check with them and see what the current requirements are and what you're going to have to meet. But basically, at least in Virginia, you got to pass your principles course. You got to put the mandatory time into that. Then you have to take the exams, pass all the exams. You have to get your fingerprints taken, background check, and once you do all those things and have passed everything, then you're eligible to get your salesperson's license. Now, your salesperson's license does not entitle you to go out and start your own solo independent real estate brokerage. You're a salesperson, not a broker. And regulatory requirements are going to have you affiliate under a real estate broker. You have to go and hang your license underneath that broker's authority, and they are in part responsible for you. Now, you remain responsible for your own actions. You go out and do something you're not supposed to do, you can be held accountable for that, have your own license yanked, you can have sanctions and all kinds of things happen, and you can be sued. But so can your broker, because your broker is responsible for your actions while you're under their authority. And someday, if you want to get your own broker's license, you can start your own brokerage, you can do that. But in order to do that, you have to do 36 out of the last 48 months active in real estate, actively engaged. And then you have to take several other classes, courses that you have to take, and pass those, and then you can go and take your actual exams to get your broker's license. Once you pass that, then you have a couple of different choices. You can either essentially stay with basically a salesperson. They'll hang your license under your same or existing broker if you want to do that, and call you an associate broker from then on. But for practical purposes, you're a salesperson operating under somebody else's authority. If you want to step out on your own, instead of hanging your license under your existing broker or with another brokerage, then you can go out and activate your license, get your own brokerage set up. Brokerage itself has to have its license. You got to have an LLC, business entity, tax ID number, all of that kind of stuff, and pay the fees and do all that stuff and set up, and then you can operate your own brokerage and do your own thing solo by yourself, or you can even begin recruiting other salespersons and other associate brokers to work under your authority if you want to do that. That's a different job than selling houses, though. You're responsible for escrow accounts, you're responsible for funds, you're responsible for things that any agent that's affiliated with your brokerage does. So instead of becoming a producer, meaning you're out producing sales and listings, which result in sales and earning commissions, you are now essentially a people manager. Your main job, if you're going to build a brokerage like that, is attracting, recruiting, training, motivating, and leading other people and being responsible for them. And that's a great way to make a lot of money if you're good at that. But for a lot of folks, that's a completely different skill set, and it requires different training, different learning, different experience levels. You can certainly do all that, just understand it's a different job. It's kind of like I talk about trucking all the time. It's the difference between being an owner-operator, meaning you're out driving your own truck and delivering freight, versus even doing it for yourself, versus hiring other drivers or leasing other drivers on and having them operate under your authority. Very much like a real estate brokerage, where you have other people working under your authority you're responsible for. So when you cross over that threshold where you're doing something where you're handling other people, leading and training and motivating and supervising and being responsible from a regulatory and legal standpoint, that's a whole different skill set. So just keep that in mind. But once you get your salesperson's license, that's your first step. And once you get your license active, then you start going out and producing sales and making money. Now, one of the very key things you're going to have to do is choose what broker to affiliate with, what broker to hang your license at. Get in touch with me before you do that. I will give you a couple of recommendations, or I'll tell you about what I think are the top 3 real estate brokerages to be affiliated with. I'll probably do another video on that before too long, but in the meantime, you can just shoot me an email or a direct message, or get in touch with me by some other message or on some other method on social media or through my site. Be sure to mention in there that you're a viewer, a listener, a student, however, because I get tons and tons of email, and if it just says some stupid thing and it doesn't give me an indication that you're somehow connected to me, I just ignore them and delete them. I get hundreds of those, and I don't have time for that. I spend my time with people that help me and help me build my own businesses. So if you're watching my videos, you're taking my courses, you're reading my books, you're in my Facebook groups, you're doing something of that nature, I'm more than happy to spend time and resources helping you out. But that's the first step, and if you're not, if you stumbled across the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and become a subscriber, watch the videos, consider taking some of my courses on Udemy and other places, that sort of thing, and then reach out and I'll be happy to help you out. But choosing the right brokerage to affiliate with is night and day in your success. So that's the first critical decision after you make the decision to get your real estate salesperson's license. And then beyond that, understand this too, the courses that you're going to take to get your license are not going to teach you how to be effective at selling real estate. They're just not. Some of them these days do have a few little modules and a few little hints, and they ask you a few little things, so that's better than it used to be back in the old days. But it's not an in-depth marketing and sales course. It's not an in-depth contact management course. It's not an in-depth anything having to do with actually doing the day-to-day job of being a successful real estate agent. That you're going to have to either get with a good broker, or a good brokerage is going to have some programs for mentorship and training available to you, and take advantage of those. You know, it's not going to come into your mind through osmosis. Even if they offer that type of training, you're going to have to complete those courses, those training sessions, those workshops, and then you're going to have to take action with it. And if you don't have that available through your brokerage, you're going to have to go out and find your own coach, your own mentor, your own team of people that are going to help you learn and do better in real estate. Ideally, you're going to have both. You join a team or a network that's part of a top producing brokerage, and it also has training and resources available to you, and you can get access to all of that. And that will help you do much better, much faster in real estate. And there's some exciting things happen in the real estate industry recently that make it a better time than ever in the history of real estate, as far as I'm concerned, to get started on it. So again, make sure you get connected with me and then reach out and talk to me, and I can help you potentially save years of trial and error mistakes and help you hit the ground running and make a whole lot more money a whole lot faster. So that's the basic introduction to it, and we'll be talking more about that in future videos, as well as courses that I'm putting out, different things. So look forward to talking to you soon in the next video or the next course. Until then, take care, be safe.